As a landscape photographer, traveling is a very important aspect of our job. And if you have been following the channel for a while, you know that we finished up a year's worth of traveling back in August of last year. After a 4 months break to transition into a new role at my day job, I was itching to begin traveling again. So for Kylie's birthday, which falls in January, I offered to pay for a quick trip over to Kauai. I'm sure all photographers can relate to this situation. You are out on vacation in a beautiful destination and all you want to do is go out and take pictures. But wait, you have to remember that you're on vacation with your family who aren't photographers, and they also need your time and attention. Finding a balance between our dedication to our craft and our loved ones is a universal struggle for us photographers. So in this travel vlog, allow me to share some insights on how I did just that. These strategies not only ensured that my girlfriend had an unforgettable birthday celebration, but also allowed me to capture some stunning landscape photographs. After grabbing a quick breakfast from Tip Top, we headed up to Waimea Canyon to begin our adventure.
Oh my lord, this light looks absolutely incredible. Yep, definitely need to set up a time lapse here. Sheesh, yeah, that morning light was absolutely incredible. So, welcome back to Kauai, to the Garden Isle. We are out here in January, right before Kylie's birthday. So this isn't a trip specifically for photography, it's more so just to kind of rest and relax. You know, maybe see a sunrise or sunset or two, but not do anything super serious and super crazy for photography. But there is one particular shot that we're gonna go for this afternoon after we explore a little bit more of the canyon. But we landed in Lihue, drove out here, and then we're gonna spend the rest of our short little trip up on the North Shore, Princeville, Hanalei area. But we figured we'd get this out of the way, and I'm glad that we came here this morning because the light that we got on the canyon was absolutely beautiful. And there's good waterfall action today too, so that's a plus.
We did drive up all the way to overlook the Napali coast, but by then the light and the angle on the ridges didn't create much contrast for photography. We then made the long drive back towards the North Shore and made it just in time for sunset.
Woo! All right, everybody, welcome back to this side of the Napali coast from the North Shore, except this time it's during winter. So I've tried to photograph these big crashing waves a couple times, and I'm really in the hunt to try and find a shot where the waves are crashing together and there's a backwash wave coming this way and there's a front wave crashing this way, and then when they hit together they create this beautiful fan. And I was only able to capture a shot like that once, but unfortunately the fan happened and there was no light around because there were clouds. And then the time that I came back here in February, I tried to shoot the waves again. There was good light, but unfortunately there was no fanning action from the waves. So I'm kind of in a pickle here where I've kind of got two elements that I have to match up. So today I'm gonna try and do that. There's so much light and so much atmosphere out right now because there's no clouds, and there's like so much salt and sea spray from all of the waves that are happening because there is a pretty big swell going on right now. So this would be the time to properly get the shot that I'm hoping for. I just hope that we're able to pull it off today, because not only are we trying to get this shot, but Kylie's gonna want pictures getting taken of her as well with these beautiful conditions. So I'm gonna try and use the vlogging camera to take those pictures while at the same time trying to get my shots with my main camera here. So yeah, these conditions look really, really cool, but because of how much atmosphere and how much sea spray there is, it's really hard for the camera to focus, and it's really hard to anticipate where the big waves are gonna actually hit, because I can't see half of them because I'm so far away. And we're shooting telephoto, of course, just to try and, you know, punch in and really exaggerate the waves without getting super close to them. But because there's so much atmosphere, it's really making it difficult to just try to find the shot here. The key when trying to shoot these seascapes is to just try to have your eyes focused on the waves, and hopefully you're able to see one coming and kind of time it just right. It's really, really difficult, especially in these conditions. But if somehow I'm able to pull this off, man, that's gonna be nice. So before you guys give me any hate, I did get permission from the girlfriend to use this one as a time lapse. And then we're gonna take iPhone photos and videos, but we're still gonna try and get a wave and try and see if we can get this shot here. Yes, we finally got one. Right now the light's starting to get a little too faint because I think the sea spray is too thick, but finally got one half decent shot. It's not the full wave. I think we're still gonna have to try and hunt for that another day, but I think I'm gonna switch lenses, take some pictures of Kylie. We got the time lapse going for the coastline shot. Yeah, it worked out. Somehow I was able to get a shot through all the madness that's going on out there, because that's crazy stuff happening right now.
The following morning, I got permission to sneak out to shoot sunrise since Kylie wanted to sleep in.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of 2 from the Garden Isles. An exciting trip so far. It's been exciting so far, but I haven't gotten a chance to really update you guys on why we're here, or I did a little bit, but I really haven't gotten a chance to explain to you guys in good detail about why we're here, what we're shooting, our approach to shooting on this trip. And yeah, basically I didn't get a chance to update the vlog because everything has been so go, go, go. But this morning we are out here on this beach on the east side waiting for the sun to rise. My goal for today, because there wasn't a lot of clouds in the forecast and it was supposed to be light winds, I figured I would come to this river and shoot the reflection of this mountain peak here in the river. The only problem is the winds have picked up, the clouds have rolled in, so I might have to make a 180-degree adjustment. But you know, there's our reflection on our river is basically gone, so there's no chance of shooting the reflection. So I'm kind of settling for the next best thing, which is this river bend. It creates a nice S-curve and a nice leading line right up to the mountain, so I think I'm going to time-lapse that first. But then at the same time, there are some clouds rolling in on this side that you guys saw earlier, so I might actually have to turn a camera around and shoot the other way if the skies look interesting. But the winds are still light enough that it's not really pushing the clouds anywhere crazy, but it's just something to keep an eye on. Now that I set the camera up facing this way, I think these clouds might be too good to pass up. If we walk a little bit this way and set up a time lapse with the reflections and the waves crashing, I think that might be cool. But yeah, you know what, let's just do that, set up our shot, and then we'll explain. We'll give you guys an update on the trip later on. But I think, yeah, the clouds are starting to build, they're starting to roll in, the waves are crashing around us, so it might be interesting to get this shot for sunrise here, get this time lapse. Alright, so we've got one time lapse facing this way, getting the reflections, and it looks like there's a lot of clouds rolling in. It looks like there's some clouds rolling in this way, so this might actually be the better shot. But we're also getting this river here and the mountain, creating a nice leading line directly up to it with this camera. 35mm on the 16-35, just punched in just a little bit, getting that shot. Hopefully we do get a little bit of light, and yeah, we're gonna have to Photoshop out that car and the dog, but yeah, I think this would be a good shot if we get light. That's the question. All right, so let me give you guys a little bit of background on how this trip came to be. So I originally pitched this idea to Kylie for her birthday because, you know, we've been together for like 8, almost 9 years. I have no idea what to get her for her birthday, so I said, you know, it's up to you. But we can either, for your birthday present, we can either do a staycation back home on Oahu, or we can take an inter-island trip. And she chose right. she chose the inter-island trip, and I think I would have to agree with what I would want to do too, is I'd rather travel, experience something different than stay in a super overpriced hotel on an island that you've already lived on. So you know, there's nothing special, super crazy special about that. So here we are on Kauai. And Kauai is the island that we usually visit together during the summertime because the waters are calmer, the beaches are nicer, you know, the sunrises are earlier and sunsets are later, but generally speaking, Kauai is usually better during the summertime. With that being said, wintertime is actually kind of growing on me here on Kauai, because during the daytime it doesn't get super hot, so it's not as miserable traveling and doing activities and hiking and all that kind of stuff. But also the waves, man. I always like to shoot and photograph big gigantic waves, and the waves that we got yesterday were absolutely crazy, and we would never get those waves during the summer because the North Shore swells happen during the winter time. So I think I'm gonna try and head up here to Kauai a lot more often during the winter time now, because there's so many different shots to be had. All of those waves that were crashing alongside the coast yesterday were kicking up a bunch of like mist and seascapes, and every time we would walk through a forest there would be light rays, or drive through a forest there'd be light rays. So I definitely want to come back and do like a dedicated light ray project the next time we're up here and we have a little bit more time. So the way that I approached this trip is a little bit different than what I would usually do for my photography trips. There were a few shots that I did want to try and get, this one being one in particular, but most importantly was the wave shot. Because the conditions were so good, I really wanted to take advantage of that. So I specifically had to make it clear to her that, I'm going to try and focus really hard on trying to get this wave shot, and then once I do get my wave shot, I'll drop it, I'll photograph you, I'll take pictures of you, take portraits, whatever she wants to do. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. I was struggling initially to get the wave shot, but once I finally did get something that I found was at least usable and decent, I dropped the telephoto lens, slapped on the wide angle, and started taking pictures of her. And sometimes when you're a serious landscape photographer, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to balance the obligations that you have to your loved ones, and also trying to get some serious landscape photography done as well. I think the most important thing when doing that is to have clear communication with your family, with your loved ones, to just let them know, hey, I am paying attention to you, but I really want to get this shot. So, give me that chance. Once I get the shot, then I'll be all yours, And it actually worked out perfectly in that situation. Another good agreement that I had with her was to try and get out here for sunrise. I told her that she could sleep in, and usually she's pretty good about wanting to sleep in, so that way I could get out here a little bit earlier and photograph sunrise here on this beach. And it looks like it's gonna be not a banger, but still pretty good. But yeah, again, if you are on those trips with your significant others, with your families, try to get out for sunrise, because the light is usually the best at sunrise for landscape photography anyways, and your family probably wants to sleep in while they're on vacation anyways. But you're a photographer, you don't sleep in, you try and go out there and get the shot and just make it back home in time for breakfast. Don't be doing like no 10-mile, 20-mile adventure for sunrise where you're not gonna get back to them until like midday or the evening. Definitely, try to find something fast, something quick that you can do. This beach is 30 minutes from where we're staying in Princeville, so it really is not a problem to get out here for sunrise. Take a couple of quick shots and then book it back to the Airbnb just in time for breakfast. So keep that in the back of your mind as well the next time you're on a family vacation. Okay, so there's the sunlight there. But behind us, I think the water calmed down a little bit, so we might be able to get a reflection shot if we hurry. Oh man, but look at those clouds. Those clouds are gonna light up. It's gonna look beautiful. Oh my God, but yeah, we definitely gotta try and get a reflection shot now that the water's much calmer. sun has got caught up in the clouds, so I don't think we're gonna get any more light over here, at least not for a little while. Not sure if we were able to get anything good with this time lapse, but it was worth a shot. I think it was definitely worth a shot. Might have to come back again some other time. But you know, going back to the point of this video about trying to balance photography and traveling with your family, we all have to make sacrifices here and there. And one of the sacrifices that I made for this trip is with the amount of camera gear that I usually bring. So if you haven't noticed already, because of the brown straps, I went back to my Explorer version 2, the 25-liter version. I usually use the Action X 25 because I can really build that thing out, pack it up to the max, and really carry around a lot of camera gear. And this trip I decided to kind of use the Explorer in a way that you know, that would actually benefit me on this trip, to try to minimize the amount of gear that I took. So I guess if there is one benefit of having the Explorer over the Action X, is if you're a minimalist photographer and you want to try and keep things minimal on every single shoot that you take, or even if you are a maximalist photographer, I guess, if you really want to try and keep everything minimal on a shoot, you definitely should try to you know, use the Explorer, because it doesn't have that roll top, so you can't really stuff this thing, you know, to the brim. But pretty much very simple. Can you guys see that? Yeah, very simple setup. Two bodies, one main camera body and the vlog camera. I went back to also using the A7 IV, just because just so that I can have this one to take stills. If this one's stuck on a time lapse, I can use this one to take stills with Kylie. I can punch in a little bit more and have more detail. But inside of the camera bag is very, very simple. You know, small mirrorless core unit camera. Main camera goes here in this pocket. It really is stuffed in there tight still, but main camera goes here. We got another lens here. This is the mid-range, the 20 to 70. Got the telephoto 100 to 400, filters, drone controller, and then the vlog camera kit all goes on top. You know, usually we have a lot more camera gear in here. We've got a third body. We've got an extra lens. You know, the 14mm lens, I decided on not bringing that today or on this trip because we're not doing a whole lot of astro. So yeah, it all fits in there. It's a nice minimal setup for vlogging. It's still a bit much, but minimal setup for me. And then I only brought two tripods. I brought the small little Peak Design tripod, and I'm using my main vlogging tripod, the FLM CP30 M5, as my main photography tripod. And I've been loving how lightweight and portable this setup has been. It's really helps me out on this trip. I think I will try keep things minimal in the future, maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll become a minimalist. I doubt it, but we'll see. Well, Kylie's already calling, so I better get packed up, but we'll see what today has in store for us. Well, here we are, folks. We actually did make it to the beach today. It was a little cloudy earlier, but the clouds cleared pretty quickly, and now we're just left with like some beautiful, beautiful conditions. Part of being like a minimalist on this trip meant that I also didn't bring my underwater housing, but that's totally fine. If anything, we'll probably wade out into the water with just the 16 to 35, take some above the water shots. I'm sure Kylie will want pictures of herself as well, so that'll be good. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Glad that the clouds cleared, and yeah, we get to enjoy some time in the sun.
After lunch and a nap, we headed out to the one hotel for our dinner reservation. I was able to convince Kylie to catch the sunset at the nearby beach. I was surprised that Kylie wanted to actually wake up early for sunrise the following morning. I guess it isn't that hard when the sun rises at 7:19.
All right, good morning everybody. Welcome back to our last day and our last shoot here on the Garden Isle for our first trip of the new year. We've got some beautiful clouds above us, but not a whole lot of clouds over this side of the bay. So I tried to set up a time lapse earlier with a couple of rocks that I wasn't really feel like taking an actual time lapse of. I got a shot of that before, and then we're kind of just waiting on the clouds to do something interesting. I wanted to try and get a shot of this entire bay as a whole, but it's so hard to fit all of this in a 16mm frame that looks nice. So I think what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna take pictures of the girl over there. She's just getting herself ready when the sky lights up, and then probably just make this a chill sunrise.
I ended up actually finding a composition for my time lapse, and I'm glad that I did, because this sunrise was actually pretty epic.
My goodness, this sunrise is incredible. Kylie's over there taking film photos, but I want her to like model for me. It's crazy. The clouds are still nice, but they're not as nice as they were before. So I think I'm gonna finish my time lapse, but there's big waves happening all this way. I already took a couple of shots with my vlog camera, but I want to try and use the A1, of course, to take those wave shots. So let's try and get everything set up and see if we can capture these big waves. Especially when the light comes out, I think it's gonna look awesome.
After photographing the waves and grabbing a few shots of Kylie, we headed back to the airport, and this would conclude our first trip of 2024. Balancing photography and family whilst traveling can be a challenging endeavor, but with minimalist packing, good communication, and some effort to wake up early for sunrise, it can be done successfully. I hope that these strategies are useful the next time you want to take a photography trip/vacation with your loved ones. And I hope to see you on our upcoming travel adventure next month with our photography family this time, where we head back to the Big Island for the first Milky Way adventure of the new year.